SAP exams don't work the way they used to. If you're preparing for the Configuring SAP Ariba Strategic Sourcing Suite exam using PDFs, dumps, or memorization alone, you're already behind. Because the new SAP performance-based exam doesn't test memory. It tests how you think like a real SAP Ariba consultant. You'll face real business scenarios, interact with AI stakeholders, defend your decisions, and solve sourcing challenges step by step. In this video, you'll learn how SAP AI role-play exams work, the types of scenario questions SAP asks, and how to practice real hands-on tasks before exam day. You'll need to think, respond, and solve problems like a real consultant. So let's begin your first SAP exam simulation. Scenario 1. End-to-end deployment strategy. A manufacturing company is implementing SAP Ariba Strategic Sourcing Suite across multiple regions. The procurement director says, "Our sourcing teams are using inconsistent processes. Suppliers complain about poor communication, and approvals are taking too long." As the SAP consultant, your task is to recommend a deployment strategy. The AI stakeholder asks, "How would you structure the deployment process?" Your answer should include 3 major parties involved in implementation: the customer, the implementation partner, SAP. Then you explain responsibilities clearly. The customer defines business requirements and governance. The implementation partner configures sourcing templates, workflows, and integrations. SAP provides platform infrastructure and product support. But the AI role-play doesn't stop there. It cross-examines your logic. The stakeholder asks, "How would you reduce deployment risk?" Now you must think like a consultant. You explain phased rollout strategy, pilot testing, template standardization, user training, governance checkpoints. This is why SAP scenario-based questions feel different. The system evaluates communication clarity, consulting logic, practical architecture decisions, implementation understanding, not memorization. Scenario 2. Sourcing event. Configuration? Now let's move into another SAP exam task. A client wants to launch competitive sourcing events for indirect procurement, but suppliers are receiving incomplete information and approvals are delayed. The AI stakeholder asks, "How would you configure the sourcing event process?" Your response should include creating standardized sourcing templates, configuring mandatory questionnaires, defining approval workflows, assigning sourcing teams, enabling supplier communication rules. Then comes the cross-examination. The AI asks, "What would happen if approval flows are not standardized?" You explain the risks: inconsistent governance, compliance failures, delayed sourcing cycles, audit issues. This is exactly how SAP hands-on practice becomes critical, because during the exam, SAP wants to see whether you can identify operational consequences, not just configuration menus. If you want realistic SAP exam simulation practice, platforms like certshero.com now provide AI role-play scenarios designed around the new SAP exam tasks format. Instead of memorizing answers, you practice responding like a real consultant under pressure. That's one of the fastest ways to reduce exam anxiety for these new SAP performance-based exams. Scenario 3. Stakeholder conflict and governance. Here's where the exam becomes more advanced. A global organization wants centralized sourcing governance, but regional teams resist standardization. The AI stakeholder asks, "How would you balance global control with regional flexibility?" Strong candidates explain global sourcing templates, regional parameter customization, centralized compliance policies, role-based permissions, approval hierarchy flexibility. Then the AI challenges you again. What risks occur if regional teams bypass governance? Your answer should cover compliance exposure, inconsistent supplier evaluations, fragmented sourcing data, reporting inaccuracies, procurement inefficiencies. Notice what SAP is evaluating here, not theory alone. It's testing whether you can think like an implementation consultant in a live customer meeting. Scenario 4. Supplier collaboration. Optimization. Now let's simulate a supplier collaboration challenge. The client reports that suppliers are abandoning sourcing events midway due to confusing communication and poor visibility. The AI stakeholder asks, how would you improve supplier engagement? A consultant-level response includes clearer event instructions, standardized communication templates, supplier training guidance, timeline visibility, automated notifications. Then the AI persona pushes further. How would you measure sourcing event success? You explain, supplier participation rates, bid completion percentages, sourcing cycle duration, savings metrics, response quality indicators. This is the mindset required for modern SAP scenario-based questions. Most candidates fail these new SAP exams for one reason. They prepare for theory-based testing, but SAP now evaluates performance. You must explain decisions clearly, justify architecture choices, communicate with stakeholders, solve business problems under pressure. That's why SAP hands-on practice and SAP exam simulation are becoming essential preparation methods. Today, you experienced what the SAP CACDET exam really feels like. Not memorization, not passive learning, real SAP consulting scenarios. That's what SAP now expects from certified consultants. If you want more performance-based SAP training, realistic exam simulations, and hands-on practice, check out Certs Hero. Because in 2026, the candidates who pass won't be the ones who memorize the most. They'll be the ones who can perform the task. See you in the next SAP exam breakdown.